Yeah, if you had a balanced... So the comment is about this hero-martyr pendulum becomes organizationally addictive because the people who can swing the pendulum further get more money and more prestige, and they get to do cooler projects. And so here's the weirdness. If you have an accurate self-image about what you're capable of doing and your place in the organization, you're a loser. It's the people who can spin ever wilder and wilder stories that are the cool winners. And I think on the short term, absolutely it's true. And on the long term, I'm betting that it's not. The more balanced I get, I'm hoping I'm getting more balanced, the better my work gets. One very practical thing I noticed is I used to work very hard for my ideas. I would, if I needed some idea for some cool way of doing something, man, I would just pound. I would, I wouldn't take bathroom breaks. I would just go after that idea, and I'd get the idea, and I am a hero because I and only I could have ever had this idea. I am the best programmer in the world. It's exhausting. And what I noticed is the less the pendulum swings, the easier the ideas come. It's like, I need an idea about this. Let's have a coffee. Oh, yeah. Well, what would that be? Oh, it would be like this. And there's no drama in that, right? There's not that mountaintop experience. I'm not poised with the dagger over my heart just because I can't figure out how to set up the class paths for this. You guys have done that too? I'm telling you, I took my job way too seriously. But, right, it's almost not an exaggeration. But when I just say, we need an idea for what to do with these class paths, and then we go have a coffee, then you come back and you fix it. And I miss the drama. Sure, I got addicted to that adrenaline rush. But, eventually standing on the ledge just gets breezy. And that's all. And I'd rather have more ideas. So, yeah. Yeah, so the question is the relationship of this to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You'd have to talk to Cindy about that. She's the psychologist in the family. Me, I don't. I'm just trying to keep going programming. Yeah, programming so you can feel like a hero is a whole lot different than programming so you have a program. Yeah, and I think there are probably strong connections with that. And I use Maslow's hierarchy some, but I don't claim to understand it deeply. But that seems like there are connections there. Yeah. I think there's that sense of ease with. If I'm at ease with myself, then I don't mind explaining to my friend the carpenter what it is I do. It's when I'm thinking to myself, all I do is change bits. Any monkey could do this, and then Harry comes and says, "Well, what'd you do today?" And I think, it's way too complicated to explain to you, right? Which is not a relationship-building move. Number one. Number two is simply not true, because he's a smart, thoughtful guy, and I could explain what I was doing. So that's that sense of trying to put on the pointy hat, and wear the hair funny and use jargon and ignore social convention. All that stuff is just I'm trying to build layers and layers of masks. And I think better programs will come out of not wasting energy on all those layers of makeup. Yeah, William. No, I'm getting, I think, better at putting myself into useful trouble. Although I'd never thought of it as that phrase. I'm going to remember that phrase because I need it. Sometimes. I think that, so one of the things I learned recently out of a particularly intense session of programming is I'm a programmer. This is who I am, what I do. And what's more natural for a programmer than to write programs? It's unnatural if I don't write programs, just because of who I am and what I do. So from that perspective, I think I go find that useful trouble as a natural consequence. It was, the story that came to my mind is I was reading a book about acceptance, just the acceptance of things as they are. And somebody asked this woman who was promoting this idea that you really need to just accept things as they are. Well, what if you're in the desert and you see a tin can laying on the ground? Do you accept that? You know, will you just say, oh, there's a tin can on the ground and walk away? And she'd say, well, I don't get angry because who threw this tin can here and didn't they respect the nature and I say, oh, well, there's a tin can on the ground. I'm going to pick it up. It's a perfectly natural expression of order in the universe and, you know, sort of who I am. I like making things better. So, of course, I would pick this up. But it's not that I say, oh, you know, it's not drama. It's not crusading Kent saves the desert. It's just picking up a tin can, which is what it is, and it's perfectly natural. And I think, to me, that's the same kind of thing. Out of programs, I think I'm still getting used to it, but I'm going after, again, more aggressive, more difficult, more challenging programs now than I have been for a while. Because if I fail, it doesn't mean that I'm an idiot. It just means that I didn't program that. Oh, okay, fine. So I learned something and I can move on. Yeah, in the back.